Good morning. It's Kirsten Liebelt. How are you doing? So I'm in Minnesota. And if you don't know, in Minnesota, when it is Memorial Day weekend, everybody exits the city. So I don't know if that's what it's like where you are at, but like everybody goes to the cabin if they have a cabin. And if they don't have a cabin, they find a friend that has a cabin. Like this is Minnesota life, right? How are you guys doing? It's so good to see you. So today what I wanted to do was I wanted to chat a little bit about nutrient deficiency because of insulin resistance. So I just am amazed at how many things are connected to insulin resistance. And of course, that's what we talk about all day, every day. So jump on in. It's really good to see you guys as always. And if you just like you're stopping by for the very first time, my name is Kirsten Liebelt. Hey, how you doing? I'm an Italian girl that lives in Minnesota, and I'm 59, and I was raised in a foodie culture. And so insulin resistance is very, very much a part of my universe, even though I had no clue about anything. Like I can't see things unless I put this right here for TikTok. Hold on. There we go. I just really was very, very ignorant, very naive of a lot of different things. And so now, after having gone through my dad dying of type 2 when he was 63, and my own insulin resistance journey where I didn't do anything about it for 20 freaking years, this is now like the more that I have paid attention over the last few years and kind of dove in to study a bunch of stuff, because of course I'm not a doctor, I'm just an Italian girl. But the truth is that I'm just amazed. I'm floored at some of the simple things that we can do to shift things. And yeah, so that's why I come on here and tell everybody. I'm going to tell everybody. Okay, so let's see. What kind of housekeeping do I have? If you're on the replay, let me know where you're coming in from. See, look at there. Yesterday I said I was going to make myself a note. I did make myself a note. I'm doing good. So if you're on the replay, let me know where you're coming in from. I would love to know that. If you have not jumped into the Facebook group yet and you are a female, you might want to. You don't have to. But good morning, UK. Jane, nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. What was I going to say? Hold on just a second. Okay. The Facebook group is for women. It's called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And at the top, the banner right now is a June challenge, because every month I do a challenge at the beginning of the month that goes through ingredient trade outs, etc., targeted supplementation, because that's how I started. If y'all know my content, I talk about the trio, the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. And this is something I started a long time ago. And I always tell Facebook, you can always put that in the comments, put trio, and I'll get back to you. Everybody else, you can DM me. But anyway, and then we'll do a recipe. But my whole point is that if you can't get your insulin and your sugars down, you can't lose weight. That's the frustration of women. Like a lot. I'm convinced that this is the truth. So I want to be able to help people like take down that month, add months together, and get to a completely different place. So I can help insulin resistant women lose sizes. That's the whole thing. I got to keep that there so I can see things. Okay. But I want to talk to you about insulin resistance and how it actually creates nutrient deficiencies in your body. And I feel like, again, such simple information, but like we're not taught this, right? You do not go to the clinic and have somebody explain any of this to you, because that's not their job. Good morning, movie mama. Good to see you. Very, very good to see you. Am I missing anybody else? I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody else. I think I'm good. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for liking and sharing out the information. If you feel like this is something that is important for other people to know about, please share, please like, and especially TikTok, you know how that gets things on the FYP. But you're not going to hear about this stuff at the clinic, not unless you're going to a doctor that is partially alternative in thought process, right? And simple things. And that's why I want people to hear the conversation that this isn't mountainous. This isn't terminal. However, you do have to do a few things, because once you're in insulin resistant land, you just deal with things a little bit differently, right? You're going to eat a little differently. You're going to actually try to bring down your sugars and your insulin so that you can lose weight, et cetera, right? Well, usually the answer that we are given is medicine, right? We're given only different, add to your supply or up your dose of your supply. So here we go. So this I found was really, really interesting when I was researching this a little bit. Insulin resistance can impact the body's metabolism and nutrient utilization, potentially leading to deficiencies in certain vitamins and minerals. Here are some key vitamins and minerals that might be depleted in individuals with insulin resistance. So the first one that they listed was magnesium. So magnesium is crucial for glucose metabolism and insulin function. Did you know that? I mean, I know magnesium does about a bazillion, gajillion things, but did you know that it's literally crucial for glucose metabolism and insulin function? I don't think we would walk around and really know that. Thank you for all the likes on TikTok. You guys are awesome. Insulin resistance can lead to increased urinary excretion of magnesium, resulting in lower magnesium levels in the body. I thought that was fascinating. Now, I'm a geek. Y'all don't have to be a geek like I am, but this will be good information. The second one is vitamin D. So vitamin D is involved in Instagram. You're so funny. Is involved in insulin secretion and sensitivity. Low vitamin D levels are commonly observed in individuals with insulin resistance and are associated with impaired glucose tolerance. Like, really? That's super interesting to me. I always think about vitamin D deficiency because I live in Minnesota. And that's just, long winters. You know what I mean? Okay, the third one, vitamin B12. Let me know if you guys have already been talked to about vitamin B. I talk to a lot of people that they do know about supplementing with vitamin B12 because that has been such a frustrating deficiency for so many. And what a lot of people don't know is that a lot of women don't know when you're deficient in certain B vitamins, there can be anxiety and depression. So I'm just saying. But vitamin B12 is important for nerve function and red blood cell formation. I thought that was super interesting. The med, so I'm going to speak in code just a little bit. The med that starts with MET that a lot of people are taking that are type 2, that actually is a common medication used to treat insulin resistance, but it can interfere with vitamin B12 absorption and lead to deficiency. So if you're on that med that starts with MET, that might be happening, right? And you want to make sure that you're going to take care of that. And I will, I have a list that I can give people. Like if you want to know the ones that I can step in and help with that are like from organic farms and they're sourced well, you can always reach out to me and just say, I want that list of supplements that help with insulin sensitivity because you're resistant. You can always do that. But a lot of women don't know those pieces, and think about how important that is. Vitamin B12 is like, that's your energy. So people end up having vitamin B12 drips, right? They actually end up getting like infusions because they need that so much, or maybe it's just injections. That could be. But anyway, I've not had to do that. So praise God. I'm thankful for that. Chromium enhances insulin action and is necessary for carbohydrate, fat, and protein metabolism. I love chromium a lot. That's actually one of the ingredients in the trio. FYI, the trio is so fantastic. And if you ever need the testimonies, Instagram, you are the favored ones. I always say that because you have the highlight bubble, the pink highlight bubble at the top of my page that has the testimonies that you can sit and filter through. But those 3 supplements help so much. Insulin resistance can reduce the body's chromium stores, potentially exacerbating glucose intolerance. That's a big one. All right, hold on. Vitamin C, you guys, think about this. So what if you're deficient in vitamin C because of insulin resistance, and then maybe you're getting more sick than you want to be? That's a possibility, right? Vitamin C is an antioxidant that can help reduce oxidative stress, which is often elevated in insulin resistance. And high blood sugar levels, this is the depletion of the vitamin C. High blood sugar levels can increase the need for vitamin C, potentially leading to depletion. Isn't that interesting? So if you have high blood sugar levels, you need more vitamin C to actually function. Yes, they did tests on mice, took away their chromium, and they deteriorated. Isn't that just something? It's just, and again, I feel like that's where I feel like a lot of the simple thought process can come in to help people. And the first time that I was exposed to thinking this way was when, and I've talked about this before, but there's when I take my daily, it's 3 things. And I take these 3, and it's a plant and a vitamin and a mineral. And when my friend's dad started taking these after 10 years of not being able to get his sugars into control, within 4 months of taking this twice a day, he was able to bring down his sugars, his A1C. And then because when your insulin and sugars come down, you can actually lose weight. He went on to lose over 50 pounds. So simple deficiencies, like we just need to know basic information, right? And then maybe it doesn't feel so overwhelming. Maybe it doesn't feel so chaotic. Maybe it doesn't feel so this big mystery. And, we're not smart enough to figure this out on our own. And, some of those pieces, like I'm just saying, there are some better answers that God already gave us the answers to. Thank you for the likes. You guys are awesome. I so appreciate you very, very much. Movie Mama, you're amazing. So vitamin C and then omega-3 fatty acids. Okay. So that is important to reducing inflammation and improving insulin sensitivity. And I am going to say this. So when I talk about the supplements that I've taken now for a really long time, you really do want, there are certain things that you really do want. And when you're taking an omega-3, this is where I really, okay, there are a couple of them that you have to be really, think in terms of like, if you go to the store and you buy fish, well, we do know that fish can contain like high levels of, mercury and different chemicals and things that we don't want in our, in our fish supply. So like you're taught to go purchase wild caught, wild caught shrimp, wild caught fish, etc. You don't want farmed, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's the same thing with your fish supplement. So wherever they're getting their fish source from, you want it to be wild caught. You want it to be the way that it's supposed to be, like wild caught, third party tested. Like don't take a concentrated form of something bad, even more concentrated than if you eat one piece of fish. Don't do that and take a bad source from, a mart or, whatever. Like just be mindful of that because you really do want your body to perform. Like you don't want to go backwards in what we're trying to accomplish. Okay. That's just me geeking out on thought process because it's like, there are consequences to the fact that, supplementation is not regulated by the FDA. And I'm not saying that I want regulation in terms of like, whatever, like I could go down another conversation with that. I won't. But my point being that because it's not regulated, you just have to be mindful. Then you have to be your own advocate. You have to be the one that is paying attention to what you're purchasing. Okay. Does that make sense? And you want things that are coming from organic farms. You want things that are third party tested. So omega-3 fatty acids, that reducing of inflammation, you guys, that high insulin in your body is creating so much inflammation and you just want to make that go away for so many reasons. Diets high in omega-6, which are all of your seed oils, relative, like if you're eating way, way, way more seed oils, which like just throw them away and don't feel bad about it. Couple of dollars, throw it in the garbage. Vegetable oil, canola oil, soybean. There was another one I was going to list. Doesn't matter. But those type of oils, they're high in omega-6, and those are very highly inflammatory. So if you have a lot of seed oils in your diet and you don't have the good ones like avocado and olive and coconut and all of the omega-3s that you want, that's why I eat a lot of eggs. I didn't even make breakfast this morning because I went to the chiropractor. So somebody's going to probably ask me, where was the food today? It's not here yet. I haven't had my high protein breakfast yet. are common in individuals with insulin resistance and can lead to a relative deficiency in omega-3s. So there was even a reel that I had done at one point that was talking about, I think it was Maria Emmerich, and she was talking about how one of the major drivers of type 2 is actually seed oils, and not, I mean, even it's trumping sugar in terms of what it's doing to our bodies, because it's creating so much inflammation, and it's kind of like just driving that type 2. And so we have to make a shift, right? And I know that it's really, 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 really OMG hard to get rid of all of it, because when you go to a restaurant, things are going to be cooked in seed oils. When you go to, like, it's hard to eliminate altogether. However, you can make a huge dent by, number one, eating, if you eat whole, real foods, like I'm cooking eggs in butter, right? So there's no seed oil there. I'm not purchasing like there's probably seed oil in the omelet at Perkins. I'm just saying. I mean, they probably fried it in the seed oil. It's just very common. Or any of your bars or your prepackaged foods, they're just loaded. And you don't want that. So I know that a lot of people deal with a lot of inflammation. Oh, I just miss stuff all the time over here. I'm so sorry. Yes, she said metformin, the MET word, depletes B12. Yes, it does. I always think it's going to. Yes, Joanna. Message me on Instagram for the trio, because your message, thanks for the hearts, your message will go away when the live ends. So I hate that happens. If you're on the replay, you can put trio in the comments and I will see it. Not on TikTok, because the replay doesn't play. But over there, you can message me and I will literally show you what those 3 supplements are. And they help with insulin sensitivity. And it's on Instagram, there's a pink highlight bubble at the top of my page that will tell you that you'll see the testimonies. So get your heart encouraged. That's really the point of doing that, because I can talk all day long and you're like, blah, 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 right? But when you start to see testimonies of other people actually getting results with a lot of different things, it's like, oh, maybe there is a path to run on. Maybe there is a track. And then jump into my Facebook group, because then we can do a challenge at the beginning of every single month. And I can help you be on that track. Sometimes people are like, but then how do I get help? How am I able to ask questions and to walk this journey with somebody? That's me. Okay. That's me. So anyway, answered that. Yep. Frequent urination is a sign of insulin resistance. Yeah, it can be, for sure. And, that was a part of my story when I was in my 40s, and my dad had died when I was 30, and my mom wouldn't leave me alone about my sugars. And she would say things like, Kirsten, do you pee all the time? Are you peeing all the time? Are you thirsty all the time? Do you know where your sugars are at? Do you go to the doctor? Kind of like, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you paying attention? Your dad died at 63. Hello. And we had a lot of type 2 in our Italian family, because that's just whatever, it's normal. And so when I realized that the geneticism of type 2 is actually really not necessarily in your history, it's more in the habits and culture of the food you're eating. That's when I knew I had to really make some changes. But that is Kirsten. Thanks for asking. Yes, Kirsten, that's exactly right. You spelled that phonetically. Perfect. Yes. Kirsten Liebelt. And if you go to my personal Facebook page, it's Kirsten Fragali Liebelt, because the Fragali is where I learned how to love food. That's where I learned how to mourn and celebrate with food. Okay, what else am I missing here? I just want to make sure before I go on. We are responsible for making diagnoses because doctors do not run the right tests. I know. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry that this is just true, but that really pushes me to keep talking. I'm just going to keep talking. At least in Greece, and you're from Greece. Hello, welcome. Yeah, they don't hear either. And they never give us supplements, but harsh medicines to make us addicted and maybe sicker and sicker. Joanna, you really probably resonate with a lot of people that are on here right now. You can purchase on my site, or you can absolutely just make sure that you register with your name so that you can check the box for the perks, so that you can get points for your products, so that you can get free shipping opportunity, all of the things, register with your name. But I love having conversation with people so that if somebody feels like they need something even more specific, I can help you with that. So, because what will happen is some people will say, I do want, the 3 supplements, the trio to help with insulin sensitivity, but I'm also dealing with high inflammation. And then maybe they want to talk to me about the turmeric. And turmeric is not very absorbable. So if you're buying turmeric just anywhere, you really do that. It's kind of a big deal. It actually doesn't absorb. Who knew that, right? But this one is 45 times more absorbable. Whatever. Sometimes people will say, but I have super high cortisol too. And they need to talk to me about ashwagandha. Or somebody's having a hard time transitioning their foods, like me. Maybe me. Was I the problem? I was so the problem. So it took me years to transition my foods because I kind of was doing it on my own and I didn't have anybody. Like I wasn't watching, there wasn't live video like this at all. There was nobody like, you only knew the people that were around you, so to speak. And so it took me a while and I used a carb blocker to help mitigate those sugar spikes. So I did that for a long time. Some people want to know about that. But anyway, to answer your question, yes, you can. Just register with your name. Okay, did I miss anything else? I think I'm good. Nope. You're getting itchy knees if you have sugar. Ooh, isn't that interesting? Good morning, Brenda. Oh, and good morning from California. Oh, how nice. I love that. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How do we know for insulin resistant? You've been hearing a lot about this. Anna, they're not. It's just a shirt. I would never. Only on my stories, Anna. I'm doing so good, Anna. It's so good to see you. No, this is this has a story to it. I won't tell the story, but anyway, it's kind of gloomy here in Minnesota. So plaid is the deal today. Okay, so insulin resistance. So there are many, many symptoms, and some of them are the ones that we think are just normal. For instance, if we are hungry all the time, we eat and we're hungry, we think that's maybe normal. If we're just craving carbs and sugars all the time, we think like, well, doesn't everybody do that? So, and then some are a little different. Or well, the belly fat is super common, right? When we get belly fat, and that can be insulin and cortisol. Insulin is basically your sugar hormone. That's just what I call it. And then cortisol is your stress hormone. And so when you have high insulin and cortisol, and they're kind of like sisters and besties, it all kind of goes together. That's why I mentioned like the ashwagandha with the trio, et cetera, because high cortisol there are so many people that I talk to that have really stressful jobs or stressful lives. And that's a piece of the puzzle of helping that. So belly fat is a big one. You can have skin tags. You can have colored, like discoloration patches. And trying to think, those are probably sleeping, having a hard time sleeping, like you're waking up in the middle of the night. And that is a big sign of insulin resistance. And so when you begin to turn this back, when you begin to kind of roll back when you begin to bring down, let's do it that way. When you begin to bring down your sugars and your insulin, the symptoms recede. Okay. And you can do that. Like, for instance, let's pretend you went carnivore today. You could do it with carnivore. You could do it fast with like a complete diet change. A lot more people are like me, where I honestly like had no intention of ever changing out my food. How honest is that? I didn't think that I could. I didn't believe in myself. And I know that sounds weird, but if you are from a culture where you just talk about like food is just the thing, and it's literally about everything, like every celebration, every get together, it's all about making, food, pasta, etc., then you'll understand. Like that was just so ingrained in me. So I didn't think that I could. So for me, I started with targeted supplementation. That's the trio, the 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity. And that was a long time ago. Nobody was talking about this. I didn't even know the terminology. Like I wasn't very bright when it came to this conversation at all. Like I was very naive. And so it wasn't until I, decided to pacify my mom by doing something, anything. And I started with supplements, and then I was able to say, Mom, I'm doing something. And then when it worked, I had to find to understand why. Why did that turn back my symptoms? Why did that allow my body to finally be able to lose weight? What is this? Why is this, blah, blah, blah. And so now more people are like me, where if you want to just go a little faster, if you just want to speed things up a little bit, and especially when it comes to the weight loss portion, you want to get your body to begin that healing mode faster. That's where the trio comes in. And again, like we're talking about other supplements, and I can give people that list too. Like if you want to know, like you're like, I need a good vitamin D, and you don't want to buy a synthetic one, and blah, blah, blah. You can reach out to me and I'll tell you what I take, right? I'll tell you exactly what I take so that you don't feel like you're, and I want to give you the last supplement too. I don't want to forget to do that. Because it matters. It matters what you're taking. You don't want to be flushing literally down the toilet things that don't break down in your system, or that aren't properly, like, what they say on the bottle isn't what's inside, all of those things, and people think that maybe with that high of quality that you're just going to pay more. And that's not true. Like the vitamin D I take is like 33 cents a day, and it's sourced from mushrooms. I'm just telling you. But anyway, so the last one that I want to talk about is CoQ10, because that's on the list. So CoQ10 is involved in energy production and has antioxidant properties. It's a really good antioxidant. And the depletion, individuals with insulin resistance and those taking, okay, y'all listen up. If you're taking an STATIN, okay, if you're taking one currently, those who take that are lower, they have lower CoQ10 levels. And I've done reels on that before. I've done information on that before, because you do want to know that. You want to know everything has a side effect, right? So if you're insulin resistant and you are depleted in certain like vitamins and whatever, that's one piece of the puzzle. But then if you're on meds, that could be another piece of the puzzle of things that you have to replace in your body. And I'm going to go back to the original conversation that we had at the beginning of this video. It should be a relief to your heart that there could be some simple plug and play pieces of this. It doesn't mean that everything is super easy, but it should help you to understand. Like I was saying, when my friend's dad started taking simple, like vitamin minerals and plants like this twice a day, he literally was able to undo something that happened that he couldn't fix for 10 years, because we have deficiencies. So if you are insulin resistant, it's creating deficiencies. The soil that we even get our food out of is not as mineral dense as it used to be. It needs to be. There are so many pieces of this puzzle that are creating simple things. Simple. Like, it doesn't have to be mountainous. It doesn't have to be rocket science. And that should actually make us all feel really good. And I feel like the second piece of that is when I teach food. So I'm grain-free and sugar-free. And when I teach food, I want people to know this is actually easier than you think it is. This isn't as hard as you think it is. And that's coming from somebody who's Italian, who literally said, I would rather take pills. I'll take supplement pills before I ever trade out my foods. That was me. I'd never taken a supplement before. Supplements to me were ibuprofen and a weight loss med that had been banned. That was me. Total sugar addict in my 40s, just raging sugar addict. And that's why my mom wouldn't leave me alone. And I'm super grateful, because now my lazy Susan, my dad had a lazy Susan of meds. I talk about that all the time. And when he died at 63, this is my lazy Susan. I don't have any scripts. I started with targeted supplementation, and I took that route instead of scripts. And now I'm 59, and I'm the one in my family that avoided type 2. So what if, just ask yourself this question, what if there are simple deficiencies that can help turn back? Like, I understand there are more pieces to the puzzle, right? Like if you're very, very, very insulin resistant, listen, my dad was type 2 insulin dependent. He was very, 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 very insulin resistant. His healing journey, had he switched his universe, it would have taken more than a week. Wouldn't you agree? It would take him a little time because you have to heal what's happening. But then somebody else can do it really easy. Do you talk about food, dinner choices, for example? I do talk about food. I'm actually usually on here in the morning with my breakfast, but this morning I went to the chiropractor because it's Memorial Day weekend. And I woke up and I went, oh, he's not going to be in on Monday, so I better get my butt in there this morning. So I haven't even eaten yet this morning, but I do talk about food, and I talk about food in a lot of, very especially in, okay, so I have this Facebook group and it's called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Okay. And reach out to me if you need a link or I say that, but it depends. I can't. I'm going to take that back. I'm taking that back, putting those words back in my mouth. Because on IG, that link doesn't work hardly ever. And on TikTok, I can't even send them. So anyway, it's called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And I do a challenge in there every month. And a part of that challenge is creating recipes. I don't create them. I just remake them from other people. But when you get into the group, what I'm doing is I'm tagging you in a free PDF that has some recipes and some snack ideas and pantry ideas. But basically what I teach, just to let you know, is high protein, really high, good protein, like a minimum of 100 grams a day. High protein, high protein, high protein. I will get off of this live and I will go and eat probably 3 eggs fried in butter. And I will probably have like a chicken sausage. I'm kind of boring with my food just for myself because I used to be very whatever, but I've just gotten streamlined now. I'm just streamlined to make life easy. That's just whatever. It's a kind of a success principle a little bit. Because if I had to be creative all the time, potentially I wouldn't do it. But anyway, high protein, really moderate fat, good fat though, none of the seed oils, good fat for your hormones. Because girls, you want your hormones to be super happy. For so many reasons, I just can't even. And your brain needs good fat. So butter, lard, ghee, olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, all of the real stuff, not the industrialized omega-6 inflammatory oils, okay? Because that matters, right? It matters to how you function and how you feel in your joints. Think about how those are not oiling your joints very well. You need real good fat. And then very, very low carb, obviously, because now, right, we've entered insulin resistance land. So we've entered just a different area and we need to, the faster you can just like accept that, so to speak. I hate that terminology because it's not a bad, the sooner you can just make the mind shift that now what you're going to do is you want to go backwards. You want to go like, you want to back up. And we have to stop what got us into the pickle to begin with. I need to eat, right? To begin with. And so it takes a little bit of time, but once you kind of like understand the point of what you're trying to do, which is to stop spiking your sugars so high so that your body can stop calling on massive amounts of insulin to grab, like it has to grab all that glucose, all that fuel, and try to get it into your cell. But your cell, when it's resistant, the door is closed. So your body, number one, thinks it needs to make more insulin because it didn't do it enough the first time. And then secondly, once it realizes that it just can't get this into the cell, it can't get all that glucose that needs to go into the cell for fuel, it turns everything into fat. And this is the frustration that possibly you are feeling. Why can't I lose weight? Why doesn't what I used to do before work for me anymore? Why can't I just count points anymore? Why can't I just live in a calorie deficit? I see somebody asked about intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is very beneficial for a lot of different reasons. I intermittent fast just by eating intuitively. Like I usually don't eat until I'm hungry when I wake up. So I don't track anything like that for myself. I feel like for me at the very beginning of my journey, had that been my first step, I probably it would have taken me longer just because I needed to understand the food piece first. And the food piece is learning how to eat foods that don't spike your sugars so that you don't call on so much insulin, so that all of that insulin doesn't keep on being produced, so that you have high inflammation and then everything goes to fat. Like I need to understand why. I need to understand, why do these supplements work inside of my body? Those aren't even the ones that I talk about the most. That's just the vitamin, mineral, nutrient plant. This is the set right here. This one, and this one right here. This is the trio. They're very little. I like to show them because I want people to see that they're not big. They're not horse pills or anything like that. One of them you take 3 times a day. The other 2 you take twice a day. That's as simple as it gets. This is what I started with 10 years ago. But I needed to understand, why do these things work in my body? And the reason why this is all very important is because you need the noise to go away. Would you agree that there is an awful lot of information coming at us every single day, every single minute of every single day from every single platform? There's a lot of information. And most all of it doesn't pertain to me, because I'm a very narrow conversation person, because I'm looking at everything through the lens of insulin resistance. Okay. So I don't need to know about the 35-year-old woman who is working out for a completely different reason than I would be. I don't need to hear about somebody, like, I don't need to hear from a 45-year-old guy who is in the gym building muscle and he's eating for a certain reason or a certain way, and he's not insulin resistant. Does that make sense? Like, the more narrow you get in this conversation, the more free you become, because then the noise, you can shut off the noise. What is the noise? The noise sometimes comes from your childhood, like it did for me. You know, be a part of the Clean Plate Club. Come on, manja, eat. This isn't going to hurt you. Come on, a little bit. Come on, just a little bit. Food pushers. The noise can, because now I don't care. Like I don't care. You can't talk me into going back. I know that I am 59 and I wake up and I don't ache. That's what I know, because insulin resistance has high inflammation. So my inflammation is way down, right? So I wake up, I feel amazing. You can't talk me out of it now, right? Maybe you were just told that you have to eat all of your food on your plate. Maybe I already said that, because there are starving children in other countries. Maybe you just believe that. You've just heard it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's all about balance. You have to have balance. That is way too restrictive. You will never be able to maintain that. That's not good for you. That's not helpful for you. Well, you know what? When you need to have a specific thought process to turn back a specific, thanks for the hearts, to turn back something that's very specific to you, nobody else's opinions matter anymore. You have to let them go. You have to dissect and decipher what is noise that doesn't pertain to you. And if you're working out like a maniac with high intensity, what if you're raising your cortisol and it's working against you? Because once you're in perimenopause and menopause, life is different. So I'm just saying, what if, right? Like, we have to think a little differently. I'm 59. I started this journey like in my 40s because I wasn't willing to do the food. But then I did, one ingredient at a time, one recipe at a time. And this Italian girl was able to figure it out. I bring that to the table for people because, listen, I know what it's like to have emotional connections to food. I know what it's like to have food bullies and pushers in my life. I know what it's like for me to have to actually stop and say, what are the foods that I, Kirsten, actually like? Kirsten, what do you actually like? You've spent your whole life thinking that you just like everything because you just like food. It's not true. It's not true. But I had to pause and get quiet in my own mind to ask me questions. So these are the types of things and the ways that I kind of work with women, like in the Facebook group, or in my texts and my DMs, because you have to stop being so hard on yourself that what you've been trying doesn't work anymore. It's because it doesn't pertain to you. You're in a different land. You crossed over and you crossed the border into a different land. Now let's deal with everything through the lens of insulin resistance so that you can actually get your insulin to come down, get your sugars to come down so that you can finally lose the weight and actually feel good. I have gotten to the point now where we have one of the most phenomenal joint health problems ever. Like, I used to take it religiously. I don't even take it anymore because I've so backed up my inflammation. I'm missing questions. Hold on. I have to go down. I apologize. I know I'm missing stuff. And amen. Amen. I'm going to church. Going to church about insulin resistance. I know that I missed something. Where did I see that? Here we go. You had a metabolic panel with fasting and glucose was 75. Julie, metabolic panel with fasting? Was it fasting glucose? Is that what you mean? Wow. That's like amazing. It's good to see you, Julie, by the way. Does the pack last 30? It's 30 days, Brenda. Good word. Thank you. 2 times a day. So let me show you, Brenda. Okay. So basically, one of them, this one, this is a, what is that, a capsule? This capsule is 3 times a day. The other 2 are twice a day. It's really simple. And this one, they'll tell you to eat 30 minutes before food. If you want help with your appetite for that reason, like that's where you are in your journey, then do that. But for me, I am super stable now because I eat high protein. So my appetite is not my issue. My habits are still probably more my issue. And then I just trade everything out. But so you don't have, you're not taking it 30 minutes before a meal because it's important to the process. It's just important to help you. So like I take mine with food. It doesn't matter. Oh, I'm speaking right to you. I have recently just realized this. Yes. Oh, I'm so glad. Carrie, I'm so glad. That's the whole goal. It literally is the whole goal. Get into my Facebook group, Carrie. Get into my Facebook group. You just, maybe you'll resonate, with some of the, because I think a lot about the people who are diagnosed on a daily basis with the C word. And you know what? That's hard. And sometimes it's terminal, right? This isn't. And we're not being given basic information to turn it back. Like all we have been given, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound super negative, but on this topic, because I'm a very positive person, really I am. But on this topic, I have come to believe over all of these years now that we've been given a lot of misinformation. And then we've been put on a lot of meds. And those are the answers all the time. And nobody ever gives you a script of MET. You know what I'm talking about, that MET word. They don't give you a script and say, oh, by the way, this will deplete your B12. So make sure you take care of that. They're not going to tell you that. And if they do offer vitamins, they hand you a script, don't they? Who do you think is making that vitamin? What's the efficacy and potency of that? Do you feel like maybe the PHARMA companies, do you feel like they own a lot of organic farms? I'm just saying, we have to think these things through. Like, so if they give you a script for a vitamin D and you go to the pharmacy and you have that filled, where do you think it's being sourced from? What are the chances it's synthetic? So you're taking something that didn't matter anyway? I mean, I want people to think. Like, become your own advocate. Nothing makes me happier. Oh, so happy than when somebody, like even Julie was just telling me her stuff. I know they're not going to tell you that. And the thing is that when people like, okay, it can be in my Instagram DMs. It can be in my, I have a phone number that you can text me at. I have, my messenger, or if I'm on the phone with somebody or on a Zoom consult with somebody, it's like, and you're telling me that or in the Facebook group, and you're like, I'm doing this. I'm going to change out my pantry. I'm going to take control of my life. I'm taking my life back. I'm becoming my own advocate. I told my doctor, blah, blah, blah. They didn't tell me this. And the very first interaction that I had with this that I knew was going to fire me up was this. So this is before I'm online. This is before I'm creating content about this. And I am only sharing locally in the Minnesota area about this particular set of supplements. Even though I have a whole line, I can help you with your vitamin D. I can help you with a lot of other things. But these three right here, the trio, three supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. And anyway, and actually this particular customer was taking these three, the vitamin, mineral, and plant. And again, I'm not online sharing any of this because I'm the one who avoided type 2. So who am I? Until I realized, oh, that's actually my story. So I'm just telling you, a lot of whatever, holding myself back. I get a text, and it's a guy. He's so angry because he was just at the doctor's office. And by using supplementation and starting to change out his food ingredients, he was able to completely turn everything around. So he's happy about this, but he goes in there and he's like, why were you just telling me to do more meds? Why don't you tell us this stuff? Why do we not know this information? He was so angry. And that was my first connection with somebody in my own journey, taking my journey and like handing it to somebody and saying, hey, what about this for your journey? Let's just see. It was my first reality of somebody going, I think he swore at them. I think he said basically, go to HE double hockey sticks, you and all of your information that is only scripts, that is only whatever. Like, what are you trying to do to me? Like, this is ridiculous. So that's the kind of mad he was. And that was my first interaction with somebody going, I'm taking back my life. This is dumb. And I am over it. And that's when I went, oh my gosh. Because see, I didn't do that way. But I'm like, there are people out there that'll take back their life. There are people out there that'll change the way that they're going. My dad did not do a good job of this. And so he ended up with heart surgeries and pacemaker and kidney dialysis for 2 years. And he had all the stuff. He did all the stuff. And that was my entire life growing up. So I only knew somebody who went down the path of this. I only knew that. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, there are people that'll actually take action because now they woke up and realized that they can. Oh, so this is my beginning, my inception of, so when you text me or you tell me, I just did this, I get pictures sent, of the egg white bread that you just made, or I get, people in the group will, whatever, cheer each other on or share something about like, oh my gosh, I just lost 25 pounds. Oh my gosh, my sugars are down 30 points in the morning. Oh my gosh, whatever it is, because you realize that, oh, we're not going to get answers over behind that door number 2. Like, that's not giving me answers. That's not actually turning anything back or healing. That's a frustrating reality. It's like a wake-up call of, oh, I kind of have to do this on my own. Okay. But then that's where I feel like, I don't know, like it fired me up, and now I share with everybody. So I feel like I did miss a question though. Hold on. Exactly. Please share a video on your feed, highlight stories so you can review. I'm trying to think. There is a testimonial highlight bubble for the trio for these three. You can go look at the testimonies and see all the testimonies. It's a pink highlight bubble on Instagram. That might help. You can't find the group. Okay. There's a number on my profile. Text me at that number and I'll get you. I can send you a link there. I just can't in Messenger. Like there's no, TikTok doesn't allow that. I can't give you a link. And on Instagram, it's just fruitless. It's weird. I don't know why it doesn't show, why it doesn't work. But you can message me on that. So if you go up to way up there, up behind my picture, my before and after, you click on my face and then my face will come up again in the middle and you can click on my face again. There's a phone number right there. Just text me there and say, I was on your live and I need to get into that Facebook group and I will help you. You're welcome. Yeah. It is called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And hold on. No, that's right. I can't pull it up on this phone. I should take a screenshot of that and have that on me so that I can show you the screenshot of it. The banner right now is for the June 4-day challenge. And there's like a seashell on it, like a beach and a seashell. Okay. And the banner does change every month because I do a different challenge every month. Like the month changes, so we do a new one. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. You guys are so fun. Seriously. Can you explain the purpose of each of the 3 items that you take? Is one of them for joints? No. Great question. That's no. So by default, when you turn back your insulin resistance, your inflammation is coming down. And by default, that does help your joints. But no, if you're looking to get on top of joint issues right now, I have 2 things that would be incredibly beneficial. One of them is a turmeric that is mixed with a fenugreek. And the turmeric is, by their own admission, 45 times more absorbable than a standard brand. Like it's an extract. It's very absorbable. Most turmeric is not absorbable. And it also is so potent that taking 400 milligrams of the turmeric that I take is like taking 6,000 milligrams of another brand. The other product that I would have, Mary, would be, I have a joint health product that you take. Now, those are kind of larger pills, but it's a glucosamine product, but they have a proprietary anti-inflammatory blend. That's the magic. That's the secret sauce. And you take 2 in the morning and then 2 later in the day so that you're getting it in your system throughout the day. I took that religiously for a very, very, very long time because my fingers and my wrists hurt so bad from working a front desk situation at a medical clinic. And so I needed to have something to help me with all of my inflammation. And I was also like really addicted to, all the things, the Milk Duds and the popcorn and everything that was highly inflammatory, the kettle chips, blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows what I mean. And so I had to deal with that, whatever. But I was able to get on top of that. So if you need to know about that, Mary, just message me in Messenger. I think we've already been chatting, so you can message me. But these 3, so very specifically, this is kind of like if you were to lift the hood of your car and you looked at your engine, and if your engine is made up of your pancreas, which is releasing your insulin, and your liver, which is your fat metabolizing organ, and the helping your bloodstream with your glucose that's in there that you're trying to mitigate and help to like bring down. By the way, FYI, you can be insulin resistant for years and years and years before it ever shows up in your blood. That I should start out every video with that sentence, because that's the one thing people don't know. They keep telling me my blood glucose is okay. They keep telling me that my A1C is okay. They keep telling me I'm good to go, good to go, good to go. And then all of a sudden overnight, oh, you are pre-diabetic. Because insulin is a hormone. So anyway, so if you could be working on the inside of your engine and get your engine running, that's what this helps with. So we're talking the visceral belly fat. That's what's underneath that you can pinch and you want to get rid of. when people have fatty liver and you have belly fat, or you have fat that's around your organs, the dangerous fat that you don't want, metabolism, your liver needs to function. If you knew how much your liver has to do with this, you would run and get this just for the liver, because I have such great testimonies on the piece of the liver here. People they were able to drop their enzyme numbers in half in like 45 days, et cetera. I still take all of these, by the way, because I'm not going to stop taking care of my engine. This isn't something that, anyway. I'm a very targeted supplementer. I'm not just a throw spaghetti at the wall supplement. I'm just not. I don't care about Facebook ads. I don't care about Amazon fines that my friends are taking. I don't care. I want to know what I'm supposed to be taking. That's where this all started with me, because I remember I didn't take anything. I took ibuprofen. That was my idea of supplementing. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to start now and take a whole bunch of things that I don't even know what they do for me. So I started very specifically with insulin resistance. And then the other one is helping with very specifically bringing down insulin, hormone, sugars, glucose in your blood, bringing them down. But at the same time, it has the blend in it is helping with sugar cravings. These are the things that customers say to me. That's why I'm always like pushing, go look at the testimonials, because I can talk all day long and you're like, whatever. But from people that I'm connected to, like I received the text, I took the screenshot, I put it in the highlight bubble. That's what I'm trying to say, right? And they'll say things like this. My mind is now calm about food. My sugar cravings are gone. Normally at this time of night, I am like scrounging because I have all these cravings. Why am I not tonight? Like those are the things. So those are some of those pieces, but it's kind of like cleaning up. I've got to find better verbiage for that. It's kind of like cleaning up the inside of your engine, so to speak, and getting it running better. The other day I used this example, and this is probably the one that I like the best. When you have power steering fluid and it's out and you can't turn your wheel, and it's like, it's hard to turn, it's sludgy, but at the same time, it's like, makes noise. And you're like, what is going on? Like, is my engine dying? And it's not. It's literally just, if you put fluid in there, it actually works. And you're like, oh, whew. That's kind of what I liken it to. Like your insides are kind of just, it's just not quite working. But you can actually start getting things to work. And it's just such a simple conversation. And I love the simplicity of it. Anna, you're amazing. Anna's got some. Oh, so Anna says she loves the trio, lowered her glucose morning sugar from 120 to 90. That's amazing, Anna. And the morning sugars, called dawn phenomenon, that's the hardest one. It can take like up to a year to get your morning sugars to actually come down, without something to help you speed it up a little bit. It can take time, because that dawn phenomenon, your sugars are high even though you haven't eaten. They're staying high overnight. They're not receding. So anyway, so again, there you go, Anna. I need to hold on. I have to screenshot that, Anna. And the black, I need the black. There we go. Okay, hold on. Screenshot that. There we go. Thanks, Anna. You're awesome. So basically, nighttime is where you struggle and you want all the carbs. Yep. And I totally understand that. Like I literally would go from sweet to salty, sweet to salty, sweet to salty, sweet. And that's just the nature of it. And one of the big reasons is because if we go back to the conversation about your insulin is not able to get the glucose into your cell because your cell is closed. What's happening is you're not getting any energy into your cell. So number one, you're exhausted. And number two, your body is saying, oh, I need more energy. I need more energy. I need more energy. And so the fastest way to get energy for your body's like, well, I know that I can get a fast fix if I eat carbs, if I eat sugar. I need pine. Give me pine, meaning like something that's going to burn fast. Come on. Right? So that's what's happening. And so you're on this hamster wheel and you're chasing, and you're wondering why you can't stop chasing that craving. And it's a biological answer. It's not because you're a loser. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you have no willpower. It's not because you're so undisciplined and you just have the worst habits ever. And I'm going to assume that these are all things you're telling yourself in your head. Ask me how I know. And you have to change the way you talk to yourself. These are simple, simple, simple biological answers. Nutrient deficiencies. Let's fix that. And then let's have grace and patience with ourselves to actually change out the habits, to change out the ingredients in the foods. I talk a lot about this. And in fact, well, I won't go there. I talk a lot about this because I had to really assess my own food and everything without shame. Because there was so much shame about being a foodie, about not being able to control my weight. Do you feel like that sometimes? Like, sometimes some of you are even being shamed by the medical community. Like, listen, I understand you're telling me that's what you ate today, but obviously you're eating way more than you're telling me. Well, it's not that necessarily you're eating too much, although obviously there's a calorie component, but oftentimes it's not that. Oftentimes it's you're not eating the right things because you're spiking your sugars too much and your body just can't, it'll never go into fat burning mode. And you just didn't know that. You didn't know insulin was a hormone. And you didn't know that. That's why you're chasing your tail. So that's why I created a track to run on. Okay, so this worked for me. Now, how can I tell women about this? And how can I give them a program, so to speak? The investment is supplementation. I back up everybody with my customers for free. You get me in your back pocket, and that's helpful, right? Thank you for sharing. You guys are so nice. Oh, Mary. Thank you so much, Mary. I'm going to screenshot that too. She says, thanks, Kirsten. You do such a good job explaining from walking the walk. That's so nice of you to say. That's what's in my head. You feel broken. Yeah, sweet and salty. Yep. Yeah, I know. And nobody around you is telling you that you're not broken. Nobody is telling you you're not broken. You just need a different set of plans. We just have to change plans. That's all. Over decades and decades of information, because you're all probably close to my age. You're probably 40. Oh my goodness, what was that? Hanging lights. Thank you so much. That was so sweet. Oh, those are beautiful. I like that. Thank you so much. You were very nice. Over decades of information, we've been given bad information. So we just have to start there, and we have to know that this is true. So when they gave you the food pyramid, it was not a good idea. When they told you to just graze on grains all day long, it was not a good idea. And so now we have all of this information. It really, to be really honest, I will use a really strong word, but I do believe it. It's all been propaganda because it's all coming from the grain industry. It's coming from the agricultural industry who made the food pyramid, who told you that you should be eating all their crops all the time. Well, it's not that crops were bad in the moment or that God made bad food. But number one, what we've done is we've sprayed it with a lot of chemicals, and our liver goes, and our liver can't take it anymore. Our liver's like, and you don't want that because your liver metabolizes fat. You don't want that because your liver governs your hormones. Insulin is a hormone. You don't want that because your liver governs the glucose in your blood. So we kind of did that. But then also, too, we didn't just decide that we were going to have grains every now and then. We went all in. We jumped off the deep end. We went, oh, grains, baby. They are heart healthy. They are good for us. They have fiber. We need them all the time, all day, every day, all day, every day. And we just went spike, 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 spike. And our body went, oh my goodness, I have to keep up. Let's produce more insulin, produce more insulin, produce more insulin. And then this whole cycle. And then you go to the doctor and you're like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? I'm gaining weight. I can't lose weight. Is this just metabolism? Is this just like, what is this? And the doctor goes, oh, well, you might be pre-diabetic. And so we're going to put you on drugs. We're going to give you scripts. We're not going to tell you about the nutrient deficiencies. We're not going to tell you about how to do anything naturally. And in fact, we're going to give you even worse information. And we're going to tell you that you can have 150 grams of carbs a day. No problem. Like, seriously, keep doing that because we have an answer for you. This literally happened to somebody I know. You can have 150 grams of carb type 2. She's type 2. All you have to do, honey, is just go from this pill to this injection of insulin. I'm not talking about the injection for weight. Injection for insulin. I'm sorry, but if we don't wake up and realize that is like the worst advice ever on the face of the planet, that's ridiculous. After your daughter had bariatric surgery, doctor told her to eat 6 meals a day. Well, I'm going to be honest, bariatric is not my wheelhouse. So I feel like I probably don't even know if that's a good answer for her because I just don't know. And I wouldn't want to step into a medical realm that I'm not familiar with at all. However, for somebody else, yeah, I know. Oh, yes. Oh, Anna's saying, yeah. So I don't know. I'm just going to be honest. Okay. But for the rest of us who have not had bariatric surgery, that's not great advice. So like now I'll get off of here. I'll go eat my eggs and my chicken sausage or whatever I choose to have. I will be full for hours. Now, does that mean that all of my habits of wanting to snack are gone? No, that's because those are more deeply ingrained, right? Where you just want to, yeah, they want to put her on Met. I know, I can imagine. And I'm sorry. And I don't know, again, I don't know a lot about that. However, I'm going to assume that being grain-free and sugar-free and eating the way that I teach how to eat, which is high protein, moderate, good fats, and very, very low carb, would probably be extremely beneficial. I'm just going to assume I've had conversations with a couple of bariatric patients in my DMs. One of them was last week, and she does have a host of other things that are going on with her. And so we did decide that I'm not her person, and that's perfect because I'm not for everybody. And because there can be different deficiencies with bariatric, right? So anyway, and maybe hers weren't from bariatric. She just had different things with her bariatric conversation. So I wasn't her person, but it was so lovely to meet her. And that's really where I want to be able to stay in my most authentic place with everybody and say, if you are insulin resistant, whether you are at the very beginning and you just have belly fat and you're frustrated about that and you never even knew that insulin was a hormone, this is where I was, or you've taken it a step further and you're like, I've got to get my morning sugars down. I've got to get a handle on what's going on. I'm tired of the answers only being meds or being made to feel like you're broken. And you're not broken. I promise you, you're not. You just need a different plan. You just need a different plan. And that is where I actually that is where I shine. That is where that's where I show up my best, is to walk somebody into a plan and say, okay, this is maybe way more simple than you're thinking. And so what if we just take, and these are the trio or the 3 supplements with the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. What if we just start with a baseline? We can add things if you need to. Some people know they need to add things right away. That's perfect. That's fine. But what if we just start with a basic? Let's get you into the Facebook group. I'll do a challenge starting June 3rd. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to tag you if I can. I apologize if you've gotten into the Facebook group and you didn't get tagged in this because I just started recently doing this. There are some of you, maybe your settings, I can't tag you. Like your settings maybe say that I can't tag. So then just reach out to me. Side note, I just don't want everybody to feel like they're being taken care of. But I have a PDF that has pantry ideas and some recipes and some snack ideas. And I will tag you in that in the Facebook group so that you can have access to that and to get you started. but you can literally have hope for the month of June. You can have hope for the summer, that this doesn't have to be yet another summer where maybe you live without intention. But instead, you could start on a track. I'll do a challenge at the beginning of every month. This is what I do. June is my 1-year anniversary of starting the group and doing a challenge every single month. And we'll do one every month so that you can then be encouraged and fully resourced for that month and move forward. And then in July, we'll do another challenge somewhere at the beginning of the month. I know the 4th is in there, but somewhere at the beginning of the month. And then you can move forward with that month. And then pretty soon you're adding a month to a month to a month, and you are in a different place by the end of the year. Could be sooner, but I'm just saying, because I know people get super excited because the testimonies are really amazing. And so but not everybody has the same results, right? So if you're on Instagram, the pink highlight bubble has the testimonies. You can look at those. Anyway, but that's what I want to say about that. Hold on. I don't want to miss. I think I'm good there. You guys are so nice. Yeah, big pharma. I know. It's such a stinker, isn't it? It's such a stinker. Does that sound great, Kate? I love that. I love that that sounds great to you. So I'm going to wrap up by saying this. So there's always housekeeping to take care of, meaning that, like, if you want the trio, reach out to me. You can message me on Instagram. You could message me in Messenger. You could put trio in the comments if you're on Facebook, because I can come back and talk to you. But I can't when I'm on TikTok, or if I'm on Instagram right now, it'll go away. Your comment will go away. But if you really want to get started with the trio, please do so. And I have coming today, I wish I had them to show you, but they're coming in the mail today. I have these keychains that I have purchased that I want to be able to give. They have sayings on them that are like, you are worthy. I wish I could remember them. And I'm using all my devices, so I can't get out of them. You are worthy. You are special, whatever. And I want to be able to mail one to every single person who buys the trio, who picks that up from me. And they are in different colors. Hold on. I shouldn't have opened my mouth until they came so I could show you, but hold on. I will do this now since I'm on here. And then I'm going to go eat breakfast. Make sure you have a really good protein-filled day today, right? Make sure. So let me see here. See if I can find this. Eat protein, keep your blood sugar stable, maintain your lean muscle mass, stay full, stay satiated. But I want you to believe in yourself. I know I can believe in people, but I also know that I didn't believe in myself at all. Here, I think some of these are going to say, you are not alone. You are enough. You are worthy. You are chosen. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You are awesome. You are brave. You are kind. I feel like that's probably the fullness of it. So anyway, and they come in different colors. And I want to be able to drop those to people who are ordering the trio. And like, let's just do this journey together. Let's just realize that I thought that I couldn't do this because of my Italian heritage and me feeling bad about myself and feeling like I did not know how to combat the food pushers. And I went on my own journey and I did do it by myself, but now I know how to then speak into somebody else's life and say, listen, I've been there. Come with me. Come with me. You are not alone. And you can turn back and be your own advocate without any shame on you, because you can't heal a body in shame. And you can literally change the way you're talking to yourself. There's a good book out there called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. $10 on Amazon. Go get it. Shad Helmstetter is his name. And start changing the narrative in your own head. Start changing the way you are not being kind to yourself, or that you are feeling badly because you're going to the medical community and they're maybe saying not nice things to you. So let's change those pieces. But anyway, so reach out to me if you want anything to do with the trio. If you want to get into the Facebook group, that's another thing that you can get into. The challenge starts on June 3rd, Monday, June 3rd. I'm very excited about that. And it'll be 4 days instead of 5 this month coming in June, because I'm going to go out of town. And I'll keep coming to you with high protein meal ideas. Usually I'm doing breakfast and oh, Brenda, you love how I care about people. I just lived inside of my own head for a long time. That's what I know. So anyway, and yeah, don't ever hesitate to reach out to me. Like, this is what I do. And this is my joy to be able to help people and to give back. So whatever you need, I'm here. If you get in the Facebook group, I will take a minute to tag you in that free PDF and you can be on your way. And then show up June 3rd, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will be live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And let's go over a lot of different things so that you can feel more encouraged and hopeful. Okay. All right. Have a super blessed day. I just love you guys, and we will see you later. See you later.